Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again.
All right, we start with the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership, where Confluence Queens actually are the team who light up the opening day, with Mercy Omoku scoring the first hat-trick of the season.
What a way to start the season. Take a ball wherever you are, Mercy. Also on the program in the UEFA Champions League, where Barcelona expectedly crashed out of the group stage for the first time in a very, very long time. They lost against Bayern Munich by 3-0.
Barcelona playing Europa League this season. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's their level at the moment.
Confluence Queens might just be
Conference
League.
No.
Okay, I didn't just say that.
Not that bad.
Also on the program, where the Rockets, they're shooting higher and higher. It's 7 straight wins for them, and that's why Silas has been all smiles for the past 7 games.
Incredible, man. Look at that smile. It's fast turning into a signature smile coming from Steven Silas. Why not? Why wouldn't he smile? 7 wins in a row after losing 15 straight. And this time around, it was against the Brooklyn Nets. They absolutely got the job done right there at the Toyota Center. Congratulations to the Houston Rockets. How far can they go? Fingers crossed.
Box is waiting on Friday night.
We'll see, Cecilia. Don't count them out. All right, so that's it for headlines. There's still a lot more to come on the program, obviously, for the next 55 minutes. So make sure you stick with us. So, Cecilia, let's go straight into the NBA.
Of course.
And talk about the games that we're playing.
You love all the games, right? How many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 games, right? Okay.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming. After seeing 3 games just yesterday,
all of a sudden you have to deal with 13 games. Ouch.
Okay, starting with the 76ers and the Hornets.
Yes.
Okay, now, Charlotte Hornets, maybe there's something wrong somehow. They just can't find that cutting edge to win.
Indeed, against the 76ers. Joel Embiid, of course, is starting to find his rhythm now after COVID. Played very well against Charlotte and scored 32 points in that victory for Philadelphia as a second win in 3 nights against the Charlotte Hornets. All right, the Chicago Bulls were also in action against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He ended 115 to 192 in favor of the Cavs. Darius Garland once again leading the way with 24 points in that victory for the Cavs. The Pistons took on the Washington Wizards. Kyle Kuzma scoring the winner with a buzzer beater that lifted Washington to a 119 to 116 victory in overtime. The Knicks lost against the Indiana Pacers 102 to 22. Miles Turner scoring 22 points for Indiana in that victory. The Miami Heat, they were also victorious against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
What a victory for Miami.
And what a night for Adetokounmpo. 15 points on 4 of 13 shooting.
Nah, terrible.
And he played 33 minutes.
Terrible night.
Is it the birthday aftermath or something?
Yeah, you could say the birthday hangover.
Right? Birthday hangover, more like it.
Too much champagne.
15 points.
Too much cake, whatever he used to celebrate. Anyways, but for the Tigers forward, KZ Okpala scored 10 points and grabbed 9 rebounds for Miami in that victory. Came off the bench, obviously. And for the Bucks, for the first time this season, they're losing with Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday.
All of them in action. You've been gloating, so to speak, about that all time around.
Yeah.
But now, you've been disappointed.
I wouldn't say gloating is the word. I mean, I've just been putting it on record that they've been so good with all of those players.
They've been so good together.
Exactly.
But not good enough for the Heat.
Not at all. Not at all. Let's move on to the OKC Thunder and the Toronto Raptors. 1-point loss for Toronto. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 16 of his 26 points coming in the 3rd quarter as they won their 2nd straight game. So,
waking up from that 73.
OKC looks like they want to go on their own winning streak as well now, learning from what the Houston Rockets are doing at the moment. And talking about the Rockets, they took on the Brooklyn Nets. And Cecilia, once I saw that there was no Kevin Durant and there was no LaMarcus Aldridge.
And you were like, okay, this is the time.
I thought they would have a chance in this game, and they didn't disappoint me at all. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets, 114 to 104. That's our feature game, so we'll come back to it shortly. Let's move on to the Mavs against the Grizz. It was 104 to 96 in favor of Dallas. Luka Doncic with 26 points in that victory. The Timberwolves lost against the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell was the star of the show, 36 points. for the Utah Jazz on the night. There were also victories for the Denver Nuggets, where Nikola Jokic, what a player.
MVP, back-to-back triple-doubles.
Incredible player. 11 of those points coming in
the overtime. I mean,
wow.
39 points in all, 11 assists and 10 rebounds. Great one.
What a player.
We've already seen pictures of the game between the Brooklyn Nets and the Rockets. I guess maybe your producer just wanted to talk about this quickly. All right, let's go straight to this game and really talk about it, where the Rockets are beating the Nets for their 7th straight game. 114-104, it ended. I mean, Tayo mentioned it earlier. No LaMarcus Aldridge, no Kevin Durant. But then I'll tell you something about the Rockets too. They were also short-handed a little bit. Daniel House wasn't playing. Kevin Porter Jr. also missed his 2nd game because he has a bruised left thigh. For House, he's got a sprained ankle. That's the reason he didn't play. So those 2 key players also were not there. But then Eric Gordon,
can't compare those 2 key players to the top scorer in the NBA and Kevin Durant.
But Daniel House has been remarkable for the Rockets.
But Daniel House is no Kevin Durant,
no Kevin
obviously.
Durant.
Anyways, I get your point.
If you can't play a Rockets that you really don't have a superstar because John Wall is going to be playing, then because of KD.
I'm totally not saying it was an advantage for them. No, of course, I'm not taking anything away from
so
the
let's
Houston
not
Rockets.
say short-handed Brooklyn Nets. They were good, right, on the night.
Eric Gordon took about
21
points for the Houston
Rockets.
Rockets.
But he got ejected in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, thankfully didn't affect the scoreline, didn't affect the outcome. Garrison Matthews as well added 19 points in that victory. The Rockets led by 17 to start the 4th quarter, while the Nets went on to cut the deficit to 4, but eventually Houston pulled away to get that victory. And of course, it's a very, very happy camp right now. Everyone is delighted. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets and Coach Stephen Silas, of course, as you've seen in previous pictures, is wearing a big smile around Houston these days, Cecilia. Signature smile around Houston these days anyways. He's very delighted to have come up with another victory against the Brooklyn Nets. We also get to listen to Josh Christopher, the birthday boy, the rookie who came off the bench to spark the Houston Rockets to that victory over the Brooklyn Nets. Let's take a listen to that.
A lot. I mean, we're trying to really concentrate on us and all that. But, you know, it's a good team that we played. And obviously they were missing some guys, but the crowd got into it. And the way that we want to play as far as getting the ball up the floor quickly and fast breaks and threes, and it's a fun brand of basketball to coach. It's a fun brand of basketball to watch. And, yeah, the energy in the building was great. And when we were kind of teetering a little bit, we made a couple plays that kind of got the crowd back into the game, which is very important for a young group.
Oh, man. I mean, being on the floor with him is amazing, obviously. Got the blessing to wear his number at Arizona State, and now I get the opportunity to compete with him. But just knowing that our team is like on a streak and wanting to continue to do that, so doing whatever it takes for us to win a ball game.
That's the birthday boy scoring 18 points off the bench to help the Rockets to that very important victory, very impressive victory over the Brooklyn Nets. Cecilia, I mean, what's the better way, or what's any other, good way out there to celebrate your birthday?
Yeah, it could have been 20 of 20, just like Giannis did 27 for 27.
Yeah.
But then 18 is close. But he came off the bench,
Close
so
enough.
give credit to him for him to come off the bench to be able to dish out 18 points. That's enough for the Rockets, and of course also on a winning note. And for I think Brooklyn Nets, poor night for them, really.
Poor night for the Nets. Poor night for James Harden. I know you've had a lot to say about how James Harden needs to really step up. And I don't know whether I should start getting worried now that we might not just see the James Harden that we've come, we used to see
and Rockets.
The Rockets, especially because there's just something off about his game right now. The Nets shot just 8 of 33 from the three-point range. James Harden went 3 of 12 from three-point range, finished 4 of 16 overall. It's not good numbers at all.
14 for 16 from the line.
I mean, that's not bad.
That's what gave him most of the points.
Exactly.
He had 25 points.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, James Harden obviously is very, very frustrated with that loss. He's been talking about it. We're also going to hear from the head coach, Steve Nash.
Yeah, I just thought, at halftime we talked about getting more physical, being more confrontational defensively. We gave up 67 points in the first half, dug ourselves too big a hole. It was 17 in the fourth. We cut it to 4, and so proud of the effort there. But, too many stretches where we weren't physical enough and didn't have the fight.
It's frustrating. We got down early. We gave them too many opportunities. We know how well they've been playing these last, week or two. But it's frustrating when you're just shorthanded so many guys and you're trying to make up for so many things. And it's just, especially coming off a back-to-back, me personally playing for 42 minutes last night, it's just frustrating. But, something you can do is how you control it. You just got to keep pushing.
The beard, obviously, visibly frustrated with his performance for the Brooklyn Nets.
And perhaps you get all your points from the free throw line.
Yeah,
you can be right.
Sometimes you're gonna have to depend on freebies on nights where you're not shooting the ball
well. So woeful.
The problem with James Harden is it's been becoming a regular occurrence now. I mean, it's not shooting the ball great all season. So perhaps he or Nets fans might just have to. Maybe they're getting worried.
Maybe we might see a different James Harden.
I think it's still too early.
So top performance style. Let's leave James for now.
Yeah.
Because Russell is picking up. James is dropping. All right, top performance. Joel Embiid to start up with him, right?
Yes.
No.
Okay, don't start with Cole Anthony. Yeah. It wasn't a losing effort for the Orlando Magic. 33.4 rebounds and 8 assists. Next up is De'Aaron Fox. What a player for the Sacramento Kings. 33, 3, and 1. It was a victory for them, so it's all good. Donovan Mitchell.
Of course. Utah Jazz.
36, 5, and 2. The Utah Jazz, a sharp-shooting night for them. Gordon Hayward as well, too. It's good to see him playing really well again after that terrible injury a couple of seasons ago. 31, 5, and 7.
MVP. Okay, all right. Joel Embiid. No, I was going to Nikola Jokic.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, 32, 8, and 4 for the Philadelphia 76ers in the victory over the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay. The man I've been talking about. 39, 11, and 11. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that, if you're taking a look at his career, his 9th career 30-point triple-double, the most in the history. And, of course, we know who superseded that with Chamberlain happens to be the one. Overall, he's 61st when it comes to career triple-double. Just one behind, who ranks 7th of all time, James Harden. So this guy is going to overtake James Harden.
It's incredible.
Next 2 or 3 games.
And to think that he's a center, so skilled, great passer of the ball, and obviously a good rebounder as well too. Take the ball wherever you are. Nikola Jokic, it's no joke. Forget how they call him the Joker. It's no joke on that court at all.
All the jokers we know how good they are. Yeah. There's another one in tennis, right?
Yeah.
They're from the same country anyway. So when you hear the name, Joker, just know that they're not jokers at all.
Don't underestimate that.
Okay, we're leaving the NBA and quickly go to the Nigerian women's. Oh, before that, come on, we're still staying with basketball. All right, now, the Rising Star Foundation, that's Olumide Iyedeji's foundation, where, they've been, the under-17 girls have been in Lagos since last week. Yesterday was a rest day for them. And for the girls not to be idle, so Olumide had to bring in top personalities, of course. There's no other than bigger than a former basketball player, Kafi. I don't know how many people really know that Kafi actually played the game of basketball.
I'm not sure a lot of people do know that. I don't think so. I don't think many people know that. Kafi is known by a lot of Nigerians as a dancer, as a fantastic dancer. So I'm sure this is quite a revelation for a lot of the fans out there as well too. Anyways, awesome gesture, initiative coming from Olumide Iyedeji. Not just to have the girls just idling away because it's a rest day. She decides to bring in someone who can be called a role model, an inspiration for these girls to talk to them about life and the things that they need to have in place if they want to be successful as young women.
believe right now, especially where we are today in this country, this system, we need to open the minds of the young people, especially our girls as well as our boys. But this is a girl-driven program. I love the initiative. Women in sport is so important. They have a career desire just like the men as well, and they've been doing great. You know, we've been seeing all the different women-related sports or inspired sports, and they've been doing amazing. So basketball shouldn't be left out. Another thing that basketball did for me is instill a lot of discipline, understanding what sacrifice, teamwork is, and I wanted to pass that on. That the first thing you can ever do towards reaching for your goal is knowing what it is. Driving for it by service as well, and compelling yourself through discipline to stick to that goal in order to achieve it. Yes, there are pressures from home that we can see. Some of the participants mentioned how parents are not always supportive, but I said it comes from the judgment of character. So if a parent can find the fears that there are definitely insecurities concerning sports and entertainment. If you can allay their fears and let them know that, look, my child is good by herself, then don't have a problem. And after confirming from the young girl who mentioned about her father not giving her an opportunity, she also said now he doesn't stop. And I asked her why. She said because of her character, her discipline. I said, that's it. Most parents, there's no parent that doesn't want the best for his child.
There you go, Kafi. Yeah. She said made a lot of great points that I believe the girls will definitely learn from.
You know, there was something she said, you know, when I was asking her some questions concerning how do we make basketball better. You know, she said when she started playing basketball, she went through this Olumide Adeji's Foundation also, and then she now got a scholarship. Of course, basketball and dancing, you know, had to mix together. That's where she actually got her dancing skills from when basketball didn't work, so dancing was there. But the point she was trying to make is, if only we can have maybe at the school level, from the secondary level, maybe primary school, and then you have each of these playing league against each other. Just maybe most of them will have something to think about. I mean, when she mentioned that, I'm like, okay, we have to go back there again.
It is the same. This is the same story. So which we're not really, sports, you know, sports is not really embedded in the school system, in the school curriculum in Nigeria. So it's a whole different ballgame entirely. You know, so I mean that would have been a great, good strategy. Because we see other countries are doing it. In USA, the most popular when it comes to school sports, high school and college. I mean, Cecilia, when you watch,
schools can actually afford it.
Okay, so that's another conversation entirely for another day. So we'll leave it at that. But action returns today. We get to see the champions,
Lagos and Ogun. We know the rivalry, right? We know who is winning.
You know who's winning. I have no doubts. I hope I don't end up with an egg on my face.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I hope you don't. But we know how good Team Lagos is because they're actually borrowing players to other states. I mean, I saw about 3 players from Ekiti playing for Lagos State. So that's how good they are. But let's see, is the one who will play better
on the day,
on court today.
Exactly.
Actually, the ones that will win today.
I think Lagos will get the job.
All right. Before we go on a break, or do we go on a break now?
We have to.
Yes, time to go for a break. When we come back, Nigerian Women's Football League will take center stage.
Welcome back to Channel Sports this morning. Daniel Obugo has now joined us, and together we're going to be talking about what went down on match day 1 of the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership. Daniel, good morning. Always great to have you on the program.
Same here. It's nice to be here once again.
Yeah, nice indeed. You've come on a perfect day after... No, not Barcelona. On the day when the day after the Premier League Premiership started, that's the Women's Football League.
8 months.
Yeah.
After 8 months.
Yeah.
Was he up to 8 months?
He's up to 8 months. It just feels that long to you.
Yes.
Really? It's not up to 8 months, obviously.
It is.
Anyways.
April.
Okay. Yeah, you've been counting it. Okay, we're waiting for MPFL to start, right? Yeah, because of CAF. Yeah, if CAF has not come up with it, you have to play the waffle before you choose and everything. And I think CAF actually disrupted that because that was not what they intended. It was supposed to be a full-blown season.
That's not
okay, so that's not the issue. Let's take a look at results. Let's take a look at results coming from what happened on match day 1. About 6 games decided on match day 1 of Nigeria Women's Professional Football League, starting with the game between, there you have it, Conference Queens and Pelican Stars. This produced 4 goals. And, of course, we got the first hat-trick of the season. Mercy Omoku scoring a hat-trick in that one. Winifred Eyeburia scoring the, I don't know if it's the fastest goal, but from all indication, that goal came in before 1 minute, around 20-something seconds of when the game started. That was when she scored the goal. So they're trying to go through their stats to see if she has scored the fastest goal in the history of the Women's League. They're
still trying to go through it? Really?
All right.
How long is that going to take?
Playing their first game in the Premiership. I mean, this is a team that was formed some years back, and now they went to the, the Championship side, and now they are into the Premiership. They won by 2-0. It was against Oshun Babes. They were playing at home. You had Adugba Olamide and Agama Zipere who gave them those goals. And the game between Edo Queens went all the way to the north to get their first 3 points of the season, which is, of course, on the opening day. We have Chioma Olise scoring 16th minute before Essien rounded it up in the 2-0. For FC Robo Queens here in Lagos, it was Abia Angels that they defeated by 2-0. And without having Money Gift, who's actually doing her project right now in school, and some other players with the under-20 team, they were able to win by 2-0. Let's go to Group B. That's where I am right now. Maria Oke scoring the first one. Of course, Folashade scoring the second one. For Delta Queens and Rivers Angels, the game that all of us were looking forward to, looking for fireworks and goals, but it didn't live up to the billies. It ended goalless. Sunshine Queens and Bayelsa Queens ended 3-0. Angel Mary, starting from where she finished up last season, scoring a brace, and Sunday Juliet scoring their opening goal in the 2nd minute of the game. Now, we start out with the game between Delta Queens and, of course, Rivers Angels. We expected goals, as usual, because when these two sides are meeting, you expect goals, but it just didn't happen for them on that. They ended goalless. That was the opening game in Asaba, more like the curtain raiser for the Women's League. Ended in a draw.
Not the kind of result we expected.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're expecting goals, but then goalless draw. Surprise to me, and I just hope Rivers Angels, they've learnt a lot going for the Champions League, the Women's Champions League. I hope they've learnt a lot because it took them to shred. They were in shambles in that competition. So I hope they've learnt a lot. I hope they will be more focused on goal. But then, good to see the NWFL starts, and at least this opener didn't get us a goal. But then in the other matches we got a goal. And I would love to say that the NPFL, they always give us, I hope they continue, they always give us, what information at when due, unlike the NPFL. So I hope they continue. I hope to see that this season, wherever you want to see any stats, information, what happened, the venue, we hope we'll get to see that, and we just hope it continues.
You saw a missed penalty there. Probably the best chance to get a goal in this game. And she just managed to hit the post. And that's why it's ended goalless, Cecilia. And of course, it's a very tough matchup for both clubs. Delta Queens are a good side. Rivers Angels are arguably the best side in the country. So perhaps they just cancelled each other out on the day. Let's take post-match reactions coming from that game.
Easy because this is my former team. I played for Delta Queens before joining the Rivers Angels. So I know Delta Queens very well. I know it's not going to be an easy match. So we came prepared for the game.
We feel bad, but anybody can miss penalty. Anybody can miss penalty. There is no specialist when it comes to penalty taking. The team played well. We played well. It's just that it was a draw game. But with this spirit, I believe going away, with this result, going away, we boost our morale more.
Great performance. It's a team that is undergoing a rebuilding process. And about 80% of these players are yet to test the Nigerian Women Professional League. So playing against a team renowned also as Rivers Angels that just came from a continental championship in Cairo, the girls have given a wonderful performance by my own reckoning. Penalties could be anybody's game sometimes, Sadly, the girl who missed the penalty do take penalties in the course of a training session and scores it. So since it has happened, ordinarily being ladies, it could demoralize the player and the entire team. But in between, we try to psych the team, say, forget the penalty, let's get on. No doubt, if we have picked that first moment, that penalty, I tell you, our girls would have come more stronger. Maybe we would have gotten the second goal. It would have been motivational for us to score a second goal. But all the same, being the first game and playing against the champions at the moment is a good outing for us.
Yeah, disappointed, obviously. Ruined that penalty miss. But like I said as well, to anyone, I mean, penalties can be missed by anyone, really. And,
you could see it in our voice that,
yeah.
The draw felt like a loss.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. Goalless. That's how it ended between Delta Queens and Rivers Angels. Time to talk about the other games that were played.
The one that produced goals.
Goals, exactly. Right? Robo FC and Abia Angels produced 2 goals. We also saw goals between Edo Queens and Adamawa. That one produced 2 goals as well. Awesome. So which one do we start with? Let's start with
FC Robo, if we have that. Okay,
no.
Right?
Yeah, if we have FC Robo, let's start with it against Abia Angels. And if not, let's go straight to Edo Queens taking on. Yeah, there you go. This game was played at the Legacy pitch. Cecilia, you were there and you saw this game. And that was the first goal of the game. That's clearly a goalkeeping error. I don't care what anyone has to say about that.
I know you didn't like that at all when you saw that. But then
such a cheap way to concede a goal.
There's some players who are good enough for things like that. We know Maria, okay, yes, she can be good when it comes to scoring goals like that. But at the end of the day, ended 2-0. FC Robo won. But the coach obviously wasn't really happy the way the girls played. He felt they could have played better. I saw most of the feeder teams, playing a tough flight because they don't have most of their top players here. 3 with the under-20 team. Monday Gift, Rising and Project, she didn't play. But he actually needed some players to step up. But we didn't really see that. The crossing was missing.
They scored a goal. They scored 2 goals. Daniel, what is there to complain about the game?
I don't know why he was complaining. He missed, the corner kicks they were supposed to take that. He felt they couldn't take it because, Esther Oyenezidi, she's the one who does that for the team. But she wasn't here. But, that player step up. But let's get reaction, right, from the game. What the coach had to say. Also listen to the goal scorers.
It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. We just need to work on so many things now. Because what I saw here today has shown me that because 4 of my feeders team played against us. And then if 4 of the feeders team can play against us and play so well, definitely the feeders team here, they are over-enjoying. In as much as they say we are not a big team, they are over-enjoying. Because if those girls can travel yesterday 5 o'clock to come and play so good, definitely these people they have been pampered. And that is my fault. Because I played the game and I wear the shoes, I know where it itches.
It was a little bit difficult for us because it was our first game in the season and a home match for the matter. So it was difficult, but we thank God for the victory. It was not easy. But we had many chances, but we failed to convert our chances. But we thank God for the victory.
It's not about losing some players or because they are not around. It's simply because it's the first match of the season, and it's always been like that. Every first match, everybody will be on a high spirit. And also, because of the training, the program that we have, a lot of things will be on their head. And the pressure outside, the fans, because it has been long. You understand? Maybe it's simply because of that, because nobody will come to the field and say, I want to go and womble or fumble on the field. But I just think the game just come like that. But we thank God for the goals and for the winning of today.
Winning is all that matters, especially in your first game of the season. Daniel.
It reminds me of Nagelsmann against Barca in the first leg. You know what he said?
Yeah.
That Barca were lucky, Barcelona were lucky not to concede more than 3 goals. So when you win, you win.
Yeah.
So I just think he's just trying to play, trying to sound a bit cynical there. But then it's all good. Maybe he's a tough coach, trying to ginger his girls,
keep the standards
keep
high.
the standard. No matter how I look at it, I think it's still on the good side by saying if the younger ones can, if the feeder team can play,
they're good. I think because of the way Abia Angels played against them, and 4 of his feeders team were playing for Abia Angels. So,
Yes.
and he had most of his feeder teams playing this game.
So I think he's also feeling that, I think he's the coach, and he's saying that, okay, why these girls didn't play, they didn't play as good as we thought. So we should have given them like maybe like 4 or 5. But then, it should just...
No, I think not even the goals. They were a bit disjointed. I didn't see that. You know,
no cohesion.
Yes, we didn't see much of that. I mean, they couldn't make use of their crosses, which that's where we know them for their corner kicks. And we didn't see that we normally do. But I just felt because we didn't have those key players who were responsible for that not playing, and he expected the other ones to step up.
I think Coach,
it was a bit harsh on the girls, really.
Coach should cut them some slack.
I Coach would be very happy for this one if you have gotten 3 points in Delta State.
Cut them some slack. They've got the 3 points. Hopefully, they improve with more games subsequently. Let's go to the other camp now. That's on the flip side. Wasn't so great for Anne Shejine, who was the coach of Delta Queens. Abia Angels, rather.
Looking at the game, it's not bad. Well, I attribute the lose or the loss to jet lag. We arrived this morning around 1. We arrived this afternoon, 1:20. So I think they did not have enough rest. Nevertheless, they played well. Because if they have rested well, they will have played well. But it's okay. It's the first game. We have so many games to play. It will help us to go back home, go back to our drawing board, do what is necessary to do. But I think for me, the game is not bad. The goalkeeper made a mistake and the other one was a penalty. So it's okay. They're coming back to our home. We'll try and make sure that we beat them too.
That's the coach of Abia Angels waiting patiently to serve the revenge cold, obviously, when the return leg comes around.
You should mention something about the team arriving at about 1 p.m. I was like, you're playing a game at 4 p.m., you're arriving in Lagos at 1 p.m. Well, not therefore, usually logistics, and when a club is owned by the government, you know how long it takes for them to bring out money and stuff like that. But fatigue, really, the girls were tired. But the way they played, they weren't playing like girls that were tired because they tried to play the ball on the ground like FC Robo, where the passes and crosses were not really linking. And I think that's why they gave FC Robo a very, very tough game. But then maybe if they had arrived the day before, maybe they would have had a better game. So we're leaving that and quickly talk about Adamawa Queens and also Edo Queens. Now, Tayo saw the visuals. He was really happy. I don't know why he was happy.
No, that's not. No,
there was a smile on his face. It's like, what's the smile about? Okay, I think maybe, just maybe because of the goalkeeping errors.
So why would I be happy?
Tayo, over to you.
Why would I be happy because of a goalkeeping error? Considering the fact that I used to be a goalkeeper myself.
He was asking me, is that a basket or is that a goalkeeper or a basket?
No, but seriously, it was the goal. The concession of that goal was very, very poor.
That's how right there.
Yeah, that was. I mean, come on. I mean, the second one was even worse, Cecilia. And but at the end of 90 minutes, Edo Queens obviously were the better side. They deserve to get a 3 point. This is what I'm talking about. What is this about? Are you serious? Seriously? There's absolutely little to no pressure on that goalkeeper. All she had to do was catch the ball. It was
easy as that.
She ends up punching into her own net. And
just take a look at the second. I just had all the time. She took her time. MMSN, she's a fantastic player. Took her time and got that second goal. And they wrap it up.
That's it. Good win. Good way to start the season.
And when I saw pictures of them traveling to Airpeace, traveling to Adamawa, on a flight, I'm like, okay, maybe that's why they had to go get all the victory. They have to travel by road. All right.
All right, so that's it. A good way to start the MPFL. We're already seeing records on the very first match day. Messi scoring a hat-trick and someone else scoring a goal 20 seconds into a game. Hopefully we'll get to see more of that as the season progresses. Let's go to Europe now and talk about the UEFA Champions League. The final match day games went down yesterday from groups E to H. And after all of these games now, we're down to just 15 teams. Should be 16, but there's still a pending place to be determined. Let's take a look at the results. First of all, in Group E, Cecilia, Bayern 3-0 over Barcelona, the most unsurprising results of all time.
We'll talk more about that later, right? So let's just run through the results first quickly. Yeah, you have Benfica and Dinamo Kyiv ended 2-0. Dinamo Kyiv got a point from the whole of this 6 games, and the only point they got was at Nou Camp against Barcelona, who were supposed to win that game and get to the knockout stage.
Which would have won.
Okay, which they would have won. What? Well, ended goalless. Group F, you have Atalanta and Villarreal. That's the game that will be played today. We'll see who's going to go through. But we know because of snow, it was heavy. They tried to play the game, but then it just didn't happen. So, but then Villarreal got a better chance to actually go through. We are rooting for Chukwueze to see him in the last system. Manchester United and Young Boys, yes, 11 changes were made in this one, but they still managed a draw against Young Boys. I don't know why they couldn't beat them anyway. Salzburg, for the very first time in their history, right, they are in the round of 16. And Sevilla, as usual, dropped the tournament that made 4. Europa. They needed to win this and stay in the Champions League. But there's so much love in Europa League.
But look at Lille.
And they dropped out. Lille, I mean, the first time in 15 years or thereabouts, they're in the last 16.
Beating Wolfsburg in Germany.
It's been a long, long time.
Awesome.
And I don't know
this was what Barcelona needed
Strangely.
to do. Strangely.
11th in
Ligue 1.
But they're taking the Champions League seriously. And Juventus and Malmo, yes, that one goal was just enough. Chelsea and Zenit, I don't know what they were thinking. Chelsea has considered how many goals in the last 3 games after 6. Going on a row without conceding any.
And we were starting to get comparisons to the Jose first era. Yeah, you know, that's...
Got stuck at 50, right?
Yeah, so it's obvious now that this Chelsea side,
right now.
They're not... they're actually very... you can actually get at them.
Those were men, Tayo. These are boys. That's different.
I agree. I'm just saying what
boys. Those were men.
Yeah, pundits were just trying to compare the 2 teams.
There's no comparison.
I agree totally. Terry, Cavalli, and the likes of these guys.
Drogba. Look at the names. Let's not go there. Let's start out with Barcelona and Bayern. That could have. Okay, but it just wasn't meant to be because Bayern were so good on the night. Was it because Jody Alba left?
When you say could have, like, what do you mean?
Could have, should have. We're just waiting to see.
No, it was never going to happen. Guys, Barca never stood a chance.
It should have. I mean,
Barca never stood a chance, Daniel.
Yeah.
They never stood a chance, but there's this feeling you just, okay.
You understand? It could happen.
Bayern Munich will just soft to the pedal, then Dynamo will just play out something, but
you were waiting.
The way Barcelona have declined, I never expected them to play in Europa League. I mean,
since it became Europa League, they haven't played as Europa League. They played the UEFA Cup.
You will see that even Bayern, they didn't push more.
They were even out of gear 2.
That's the thing.
They just stuck to that gear 1.
Barcelona could have.
Gear 1.
Yeah,
and they won 3-0.
And they won 3-0 because if they had... I mean, when Jordi Alba had that injury, I felt, okay, what's going to happen? And let's be frank, nothing has changed in this Barcelona team.
Not since Xavi took over.
Yes, nothing has changed because the first game I think he drew, then he won against Espanyol, won against Villarreal. That Villarreal game, they had no business winning that game.
Yeah, they got lucky.
Then against Betis, which right from the said good, they would have. In fact, it showed that yes, they were going, and Betis were in fine form.
Of course,
you know, with Drammy. So, they when the game started, Betis didn't even. There was no that big fake, and still they won. Then coming to meet a team which is in fine form, then Bayern now made everybody know that okay, yes, they really mean business. They just rested, I think, 4 or so. But if you are resting a player and you're not resting Lewandowski,
Thomas Muller, Davies, and all
so when I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, though he has said in the press conference that the regulars will play, you know, and I felt, can Barcelona survive this? And all of a sudden, Jordi Alba had an injury, and
of course, I mean the floodgates open.
Xavi came out to say that yes, they're going to go back to the drawing board, that he's pissed.
Yeah,
man,
he's just really upset with
he's
the
just seen this is just the beginning.
Yeah,
he hasn't seen anything.
He hasn't seen anything.
Okay, more to come, right? Yeah. But we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking still about Barcelona, of course. Our reactions coming from other camps, especially from Manchester United. All right, we'll quickly touch down on Chelsea before we go to Manchester United. Chelsea could have won that game, but somehow they just couldn't because right now, I don't know, Edouard Mendy has been a very good keeper, right? A very good goalkeeper. A very good one indeed. Yes, I'll mention that. But then in that game, it was nowhere because Chelsea, at the end of the day, just couldn't get the victory they needed. So as a result of that, they were at the top of the top of the league. All they needed to do was get a win and remain there. But right now, they dropped to second. And if you look at the way the permutation has been in the draws, there could be Bayern there. There could be Real Madrid or Lille all. So
Chelsea had the opportunity to top the group, and they were in the lead, as a matter of fact, considered a very late goal, and they dropped to second behind Juve.
Yeah, and if you look at it, they haven't kept a clean sheet in 4 games. So I don't know, that's the side Tuchel has to work on. But again, it was a makeshift defense, not the regulars. But at the weekend, I think it was the regular also. But I think Tuchel is it a Chelsea thing or a Tuchel thing? Because they start on a high, and before you know, you start saying, okay, it's not what it is. But I think in his starting 11, he has tried to, put some things. But this team has depth. You know, you can bring out another 11 out of this team. But good to see Timo Werner back, scoring 2 goals.
Yeah.
But
Lukaku as well on target.
Yes, on a lighter note, there was an interview, a studio where Van der Vaart was in, and Van der Vaart, they were like talking about the Timo Werner goal, like, it's a good goal. And Van der Vaart said, come on. They shouldn't. So the analyst was comparing the goal to Van Persie's goal, and he said, if the analyst compares that goal to Van Persie's goal, it's going to walk out of the studio. I think, but it's going to build his confidence. And,
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You don't get style points for goals.
For goals, exactly.
No style points for it. Anyways, so let's go to Old Trafford quickly. Ended 1-1 between United and Young Boys. Over 2 legs, United have not been able to beat the Young Boys from Switzerland. It was the debut of Ralf Rangnick and the UEFA Champions League as the interim manager for the Red Devils. Stunning opener coming from Mason Greenwood. What a strike from the young star, but eventually they considered an equalizer just before halftime, and that's how the game panned out. Let's get post-match reaction coming from Ralf Rangnick.
I was fully aware that it will be a little bit of a risk, not regarding the result at the end, but if we would be able with this team for 90 minutes to compete. I thought the first half hour was good. We also had a few unforced errors in those first 30 minutes, but at least we were able to not only keep them away from goal, but also have control on the game. We scored a beautiful goal, set up by Luke Shaw, and perfect left foot shot by Mason. After that, we had 2 great opportunities to score the second and third one with Ahmad and with Juan Mata. We should have been at least 2-0 up, and I think maybe that would have changed a little bit also the level of confidence. And then in the last 10 minutes of the first half, we again more or less played as like the team played the weeks before. We were less proactive. We were dropping back too far.
Dropping back too far, and if you've been following what everyone has had to say about Ralf Rangnick, he wants the side to keep going forward. Forward always, never backwards. And it looks like Manchester United return to hold habits in the latter stages of that game against our Young Boys. Quickly on Ralf Rangnick, 2 games in charge of Manchester United. What are your thoughts? I know it's still too early.
It's still too early, but again, for me personally, that's what has changed.
Yeah, okay.
It's just same old same. You can't get this team rolling in just how many games. But I think it goes to show what he wants, and if they stick with it, it might work. But again, let's just see how it goes.
Okay. We'll see how it will go, because for Manchester United, maybe he said he was going to hire a sports psychologist to help the players, because when you're used to playing in a particular way, so you actually need a whole lot to go further. That's what it's looking like. But
I don't know how these coaches are like this. Barca came with his own style to say, well,
that's why he wants to hire a sports psychologist to actually help the boys, right? That's the only way to play his own style, because maybe he doesn't have the style, the kind of players to play that style he wants. That's what it's looking like right
I just think he's just working on it day by day. And, you know.
I see how far it will go.
If a psychologist would do it, I don't think the psychologist will be on the pitch. But
but I mean, to be fair to Ralph, he's worked with this particular sports psychologist for a while now. So he believes having him on the staff will bring more good than harm to the team. So very interesting to see how receptive the player are of this sports psychologist. So these are the teams that are through to the last 16. We've got 15 sides now, so we're waiting for who's going to join them between Villarreal and Atalanta. You're already going for Villarreal. How about you?
Villarreal.
Villarreal
as well. These are the teams. Bayern, Benfica,
they just need
United,
a draw. Atlanta needs an outright win.
Exactly. And of course, for the first time since 2003 and 2004 season, there is no Barcelona.
But Villarreal, on the other hand, they are a team that you never know what can happen.
I think Atlanta will make this one. We'll see.
Crazy. You can't crash it at this stage, okay? So Villarreal winning.
It would be better if it joins Barcelona.
Nope. There's Sevilla there, the perennial winners.
What about the coach?
Okay, these are the teams that dropped to Europa League. Leipzig, Porto, Borussia Dortmund, Sheriff. Interesting. These police guys are still here. Barcelona, Sevilla.
So strange.
So strange.
You never see them here, right? So I think Atalanta will join this. There's no Italian team here, right? So Atalanta will make it up. We already have...
Talking about Europa League.
Europa League, we already have
the man...
Spanish teams there, so...
Unai Emery, don't forget. As a coach of Villarreal, he likes that competition.
Exactly.
So,
you never can tell.
You might want to go there.
His former team. Papers now, quickly. How many minutes do we have to look at this one? A few seconds, right? Sporting Sun. I'll start with Complete Sports. Yes, I'll start with Complete Sports. Osimhen hands Eagles' massive AFCON boost. Returns to pitch for the first time since he suffered the multiple facial fractures.
Your prayer is working, huh?
Prayer is working. Right? This guy needs to be in AFCON.
Don't hold your breath. Come on.
But it's looking good. Aribo eager to keep fine scoring form, and that's why all the teams are looking for him. Sporting Sun. Osimhen trains alone, wears protective mask. This is the good news we want to hear. Tayo, quickly, Sporting Life.
All right, let's go to Sporting Life. That's the last paper. Iheanacho contracts COVID-19. It's not good at all. Napoli versus Leicester in the set for key role as Foxes seek qualification for the next round. There's also a story concerning Victor Osimhen as well. So Spalletti saying we'll shorten Osimhen's recovery time. Eagle Star thanks God, club, for survival. It's good to see him on the pitch, even though he's still a long way from returning to playing. Pele undergoes treatment for colon tumor. He's back in hospital, but we're hearing it's nothing to be worried about. It's going to be out as soon as possible.
Just for treatment?
Yeah, hopefully
serious.
That's the case.
Okay, hopefully that's the case. Daniel Wong, thank you so much for coming on the program.
It was good having me. Thanks.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salan.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. See you tomorrow.